Hello, I am Trillinan, a Zelda Majora's Mask speedrunner, and this video's topic will tell you about different things you need to start speedrunning Zelda Majora's Mask. And so I will also be using that video as the part 0 of the All Dungeons Restricted tutorial that I am working on currently. The different topics that we will look at today include what version you will want to use to speedrun Majora's Mask, depending on what category you have in mind and hardware you have available. Considering soft modding your Wii, we'll talk about that, and I'll just link you a video to how to soft mod your Wii. We will also talk about the emulator options that you may have if you want to just try Majora's Mask. Or if that's your only option for some reason. We also have some ROM loader options or ROM loading cartridges for the Nintendo 64 that we will discuss. We will continue naturally with practice tools that you may use for practicing tricks and anything that you need to practice for speedruns. One way we can differentiate Majora's Mask versions is by regions. So we have the Japanese and American versions of the game that will be interesting to us for speedruns. There is the PAL version of it that has maybe other languages and whatnot, but I'm not going to cover that. The Japanese version is used for most no SRM categories, the exception being mainly all dungeons no SRM at an expert level, SRM being a very, very powerful glitch in the game. I might put a little note on the leaderboard divisions with respect to SRM. And for the American version, most SRM categories will use the American version, with the exception of Any Percent and Defeat Majora that are, at the moment of recording, still fastest on the Japanese version. Alright, so once you really want to speedrun Majora's Mask and you think you want to speedrun on Wii Virtual Console, which is very, very likely, you will want to soft mod your Wii. So for this, you're going to go to this link in the description for using what's called the letter bomb method to soft mod a Wii, which will allow you to region unlock your Wii, install WADs, install practice tools. A lot of very useful stuff will be possible once you homebrew your Wii. In some situations, that will be the only way to play Majora's Mask on a Wii. So the tutorial here is focused on both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And yeah, so you will be able to have a little extra if ever you also have interest in another game. So this method here in the video will work out, so I will give that task to someone else by linking that tutorial in the description. So, we used to allow emulators for Zelda Majora's Mask back in 2019, then they were removed, and then we brought them back at the start of 2021. And I will name a couple of those we can use. Actually, the 3 emulators we can use are Dolphin. Then we have Mupin 64 Plus for N64, and we have Project 64. So for Dolphin, the only allowed version is the most recent one. So it's very simple. You go to the Dolphin download list and you pick the one at the very top for whatever device you're speedrunning on. You will have, for Dolphin and other emulator runs, you will have to stay away from the world record by 15% to submit on emulator, and after that you will have to move to console if you want to submit times that are within 15% of world record. So for Dolphin, you would just take that link here, that's going to be in the description, click here, download it, install Dolphin, and find your files, ROMs, whatever, or rip them from your console, and then you can start playing. For Mupen 64 Plus, the latest public release seems to be, this has to be confirmed, but latest public release seems to be the 2.5.9 version. So I can't see anything that's close, that's more official than that. There might be more recent versions, but their GitHub doesn't tell us more, so I feel like that's a safe recommendation for now, but be careful about that. That's the one I'm the least sure about. And for Project 64, you would go and look at their latest release too, at the latest installer here. And that would be what you have as options. Don't take all of them if you just care about one. So yeah, so that's that for the emulator you're allowed to use. Hello, to tell you about what ROM loading cartridges you may use for Zelda Majora's Mask speedruns. I will present you the game rules for Zelda Majora's Mask that we have right here. So as you can see, the two before last points in the list tell us the two that we have. So EverDrive is allowed, and 64 drive is allowed. We have specific versions required for runs, so versions 2.5, 3, and X7, so V, 2.5, V3, and X7 for EverDrive. And it has to be run via the auto boot function, so that's some technicality you can look into if you have or are interested in getting an EverDrive. And since this is run on actual hardware, there is no cap. Another type of cartridge that's allowed is the 64 drive. In this case, your threshold to respect away from the world record is 1%. If you play on 64 drive and you eventually get within 1% of world record, you will not be able to submit. You will have to transition to console for better times. Just mentioning here, maybe I said it already, but for emulators, we have a stricter bound of 15% for Project 64, Mupen, and Dolphin, and that covers what ROM loading cartridges you can use for Zelda Majora's Mask speedruns. We will also be using some practice tools for Zelda Majora's Mask speedrunning, practice, learning, grinding, tricks, and all of that. Two main things you will want to use. I put them in a very personal order of preference. Zelda codes, or Zelda or ZC for Wii Virtual Console. This is what you'll probably want to use for all dungeons restricted, which is the main reason why I'm making this, but at the same time, again, it's a general purpose presentation at the same time. And there is the practice ROM, or KZ, as its code name, for Nintendo 64, Wii Virtual Console, and I need to confirm, but I think Wii U Virtual Console, that I'm not too sure. And so the second one is allows some more technical stuff, like frame advance, pausing, looking at memory watches. So for SRM categories, if you are going to learn an SRM categories, you will want to go with the practice ROM more than with Zelda codes, at least for learning any trick related to SRM. So let's actually look at the pages. I will put the links in the description. So now you get to see what's behind the awful curtains. That's where we're doing the presentation. So where is that? So Zelda codes, the link will be zc.zeldacodes.org. And then it's going to put that little blurb here that you don't care about. And then you're going to essentially just download it, patch a ROM, install it with the Wii Homebrew tutorial that I will have linked. follow the installation guide to put the files in the proper place on your SD card, and then you'll have the amazing Zelda codes. And then once you have that, this is a very fast, if people are interested in me making a more careful, more thorough tutorial for this specifically, I could make one. I would be interested in making one. And then you would have the manual here with all the activators using button combinations to like warp somewhere, give yourself items, change the current day, and lots of other options. So that's for Zelda codes. For the practice ROM or KZ, you will go on kz.zeldacodes.org. Let's look at the installation guide. Here giving you the requirements and what you need to do. Let's look at the Virtual Console one for fun. They will tell you what scripts you need to run to modify an original WAD or file or a ROM for N64 and turn it into the correct file. So that's what you can do to have practice tools. So either Zelda codes or the practice ROM, also named KZ. So these are the two ones you hear people talk about. Again, if you're going to do SRM categories, I really strongly recommend KZ. It's going to be very helpful. And even if you don't do SRM, if you're just interested in learning glitches and doing research for Majora's Mask, Practice ROM is also super duper useful. Really, really good tool for Zelda scientists to have the Practice ROM. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of it for developments of glitches and discoveries in the game. I guess that'll be that for me. Thank you for watching, and if you are here for the All Dungeons Restricted tutorial, you can now or eventually move to the actual part 1. So bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is where you are right now.